What's up, everyone? This is Tech Trooper 64, and today we are going to be talking about the PlayStation 4 Neo. Now, this is actually just an opinion piece. There's no article that is kind of influencing me to talk about this, but this is something that I want to talk about really quick. Now, this isn't really an article, but this is something that I've been hearing from NeoGAF, and this comes from Colin Moriarty, who he's a reporter that he's a game journalist, and he used to work with Greg Miller. Well, he still does work with Greg Miller, but they both used to work for IGN. They no longer work for them, and I've been following them for a long time. They were part of the PlayStation division of IGN, and they're very pro PlayStation. But it doesn't mean they don't play anything else. It's just they're very pro PlayStation. But anyway, Colin Moriarty has some connections with some developers, and apparently he spoke about how developers are unhappy with the PlayStation 4 Neo as dev kits, and that devs are talking about how it's a big pain in the butt just to go and use this hardware and to use its quote unquote enhanced features. So yeah, and apparently devs are not happy to follow the strict rules that Sony has been giving them and all that stuff. Now, this isn't really related sort of to the devs of how they're reacting to the PlayStation 4 Neo or anything, but one thing that I'm noticing about the PlayStation 4 Neo is that a lot of people are having issues swallowing the pill that is the PlayStation 4 Neo in a nutshell. Now, here's what I'm just going to say. The PlayStation 4 Neo is around 2 times more powerful than the PlayStation 4. Like, not entirely, but I would say like 0.5 to 1.5 times more powerful. I don't know, something around those lines. Like I said the specs in another video. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to go see that video. It describes the specs of the PlayStation 4 Neo. But what I'm going to say is, and I'm going to use the new Nintendo 3DS XL as an explanation for this, but here we go. So let's say that the average consumer will buy a PlayStation 4, and people are calling it the PlayStation 4 Basic now. Let's just call it that, the base PlayStation 4, the one that everybody has in their homes now that plays PlayStation 4 games at their normal rate and all that. Well, there's that, and then let's say Sony releases the PlayStation 4 Neo for another $400. Okay, so people just spent $800 so that they have their first PlayStation 4, and then they have their second PlayStation 4 that plays their games better. And maybe sometime in years to come, Sony will announce that the PlayStation 4 Neo will be getting its own exclusive game that you can't play on your old PS4, and then it'll be deemed useful, sort of. Now, some people will actually take the smart route and sell their old PS4 and, use that money to buy the new PS4 Neo, which is a smart idea, all things considered. But what if people don't want to, or they don't feel like they need to? Because the transfer process, because I just bought a new PS4, and let me tell you, I had to re-download all my games from scratch. There's no easy way to transfer your stuff from one PS4 to another. And I gotta say, that's one thing that the Wii U has over the PS4 and Xbox One. You can easily transfer your stuff over to a new Wii U without any issues. And I gotta say, that's something that they have to fix. They probably will in the future, especially with the PS4 Neo coming up. But it's hard to do that. But anyway, let's continue on with my comparison. So someone just spent $800 for 2 PS4s. One of them plays games better and plays in 4K, and the other one doesn't. Okay, that's fair to say. And let's say, like, most gamers are collectors. They don't like getting rid of their old PS4, so they'll keep it. Now, let's look at the 3DS side of things. So let's say I'm the average consumer who goes and buys a 3DS, maybe not at launch, like a 3DS nowadays. Like, nowadays you can pick up a 3DS XL, an original 3DS XL, for $150, maybe $180, sorry. And if you're into the 2DS, you can get it for $120, maybe $90. They're so cheap, right? But anyway, that's not the point. And then you hear that Nintendo wants to release a brand new Nintendo 3DS XL, and that there's going to be new 3DS exclusive games that you can only play on the new 3DS. And maybe not games that you can only play, but if you play on the new 3DS, you're going to have a better experience. A la Hyrule Warriors Legends, if you know what I'm talking about. If you look at the Digital Foundry video, it shows that the frame rate of Hyrule Warriors Legends on the new 3DS plays a lot better than on a normal 3DS. Bottom line, then, okay, I'm an average consumer who is going to go buy a new 3DS XL. A new 3DS XL is $230 in Canada. Okay? And what if I buy a 2DS or a 3DS XL? Okay, a normal one, right? So that means I just spent around $400 or around there, $400 give or take, on two devices. One of them plays 3DS games normally, and the other one plays new 3DS games normally. And when you think about that, the new 3DS can play new 3DS exclusive games and 3DS games and DS games. Not just that, but it can also play SNES games only on the new 3DS, and it can play NES games, and it can play Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games. And heck, I think you can even play Sega Game Gear games. Bottom line, you can play a lot of games. It's compatible with a lot of old games from like previous devices. Okay, but those are handhelds. People are willing to spend $400 for two devices, and that's fine. But the PlayStation 4 Neo, let's say it's $400, but that's still expensive. Like, that means you're asking me to pay $800 for two devices, which I can only play some PS2 titles, some PS3 titles thanks to PlayStation Now, and the new PlayStation 4 Neo is not even coming with exclusive games. It just plays my games better. Like, what the actual hell? There's no point for the PlayStation 4 Neo to exist. And that's why I personally think, come hell or high water, the minute the PlayStation 4 Neo comes out, it's gonna flop. I know it's gonna flop. Because no one's gonna want to buy another piece of hardware for another $400. And in the end, spending $800 on it. No one's going to want to do that. Now, Sony, if you advertise that the PlayStation 4 Neo, then this is the only way I can see it actually working and being viable and people wanting to buy it, is if you say you can play your PlayStation VR games better on the PlayStation 4 Neo, or you don't need that processing block, or if you buy the PlayStation 4 Neo, you'll get a cheaper version of the PSVR. Other than that, I don't see a point for the PS4 Neo to exist. And if you're trying to do something like a filler thing so that there's not another generation of consoles, why don't we look back at what Sega did with the Sega Genesis and then the Sega Mega Drive or whatever, or the Sega CD, all that crap, all those add-ons that they did? Why don't we go look at that? It ended horribly for them. Sony, I get it. You're drunk with power. You're overcome with this power and you're thinking that you guys are untouchable, unstoppable. But let me tell you something. There was someone on VG Charts forums who was making a very good point. He said, Microsoft is in a very good point here that they could turn around the console war if they plan their cards right. If they play their cards right, they could put an Xbox price drop. They could put great quality games, and they won't screw over the consumer with a brand new Xbox that is better than the old Xbox or whatever. And it'll be better than the PlayStation 4. And then people will say, hey, why the hell am I going to buy an extra $400 PlayStation 4 that plays games slightly better when I can just stick to Xbox? And we heard that there's a new Xbox coming, and if there is, that's fine, but it's the same thing. But as long as they don't make it so expensive. All I'm saying is, this is such a headache. This is not how consoles are supposed to work. You guys are making it like PCs, and they're not supposed to. This is ridiculous. It's not supposed to be like this. Now, I don't want to hear anybody say in the comments, oh, but what about Nintendo and the NX? That's different. The Wii U is literally Nintendo's shittiest console of all time. They need the NX to survive. Someone was actually saying on VG Charts too, oh yeah, we should stop the NX from happening. It's a cancer to Nintendo. It's not. If anything, it'll be Nintendo's savior console if they play their cards right. They need the NX to be successful, because I can tell you right now, Nintendo may have a lot of money in the bank, but I can tell you right now, there's no way in hell they're surviving another year or two if they have their Wii U as their main home console. There's no way they're going to do it. Look how Star Fox is doing. The sales numbers haven't shown up, but I can tell you it's not going to sell well because reviewers already hate the game. You should already see what Polygon said about the game. No one is going to buy a Wii U anymore. I already hear that people are not buying Wii U's. They're holding off because they hear about the NX is going to have Wii U ports and remasters. There's honestly no point in buying a Wii U anymore. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I'm putting it down as a prediction right now. Nintendo NX is coming out this year. Because Nintendo has no other way. There's no way in hell they can keep relying on the Wii U to make the money this year. There's no way they're going to do it. Like, every year they're announcing that the Wii U just merely passes 1 million units every Christmas. There's no way in hell that this year they're going to say, oh yeah, don't worry, we're going to keep the Wii U on the market. No. If that's the case, at Christmas, get ready to hear that the Wii U sold 500,000 units and not even 1 million. Because no one's going to want to buy a Wii U, to be honest. I don't want to buy a Wii U, and I already have one. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think about my explanation why the PlayStation 4 Neo will fail, and what you think about this whole nonsense about the PlayStation 4 Neo. Don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. And thanks for listening throughout this long video. See you guys.